Making mistakes when speaking a new language is going to happen a lot. But keep watching this video to learn how to be less afraid of mispronouncing words, how to reduce mistakes in the first place, and what to do after you've made a mistake to help calm those nerves. It is a very common human experience to be afraid of making mistakes. But there is no path to perfection without mistakes. There's no path to confidence and building skill in anything without making mistakes. So let's look at kids, for example. When kids learn a new language or they're learning language, they are totally fine with making mistakes. All right. My son, he's now 6 years old, but when he was a little bit younger, he loved corn dogs. He loved to eat corn dogs, but he pronounced it dorn cogs. Okay. And we all thought it was cute and adorable, and we didn't correct him for a really long time because we just liked it. But eventually, he was able to correct that by noticing how other people are doing it. But as he's been learning language and he has been putting things together and using new vocabulary and just learning how to correctly use language, I've been modeling it for him. I've been correcting him. But as he's making these mistakes, he doesn't care. He's totally fine with it. So as we adopt this mindset of it's okay to make mistakes, it's part of the learning process, it's part of how you improve and grow, then we're gonna have a lot more success in building stronger communication skills. Have you ever come to master something without making mistakes? So if you're not making mistakes, then you're not pushing yourself. You're not getting yourself out of that comfort zone. You're really playing it way too safe. So let's go ahead and step out of that comfort zone. Be okay with making mistakes. But how do we get to this place where you're okay with making mistakes? And in fact, you want to make as many mistakes as fast as possible so that you can learn even faster. Well, first let's understand the why. Why are you afraid of making mistakes? What happens if you do make a mistake? Okay? So why are we feeling this fear? Well, it's because of our human brain wiring. We want to belong to a group. There's safety in belonging to a group. Okay, so our brain is wired to be able to fit in, to become part of this group, to belong to this group. And anything that might distance us from this group or cause us to be not like this group is going to alert red flags in our brain to say, danger, danger, don't do it, okay? So when you go to speak up in American English and you know that you don't sound like the rest of the group, there's a fear that comes, a fear of not belonging, a fear of judgment, that they're going to judge you and that you're not going to be accepted into the group. So you might not consciously be thinking this, but there is a subconscious level to it. So what we have to do is really get aware of this wiring that we have in our brain and be able to override it with our more evolved human brain and say, you know what? It's okay for me to be different. It's okay for me to sound different. I will still belong to this group. And it's because of who I am and what I bring here and just that I have innate value. There's also this thing called negativity bias. And what I've seen with so many of my students is that they've had very traumatic experiences speaking English and having someone be very unkind to them or make fun of them or give them feedback that was negative in some way that really affected them, that caused these emotions inside of them, really negative emotions that were very, very powerful. So getting some of this feedback or being made fun of by the way that you speak English can cause a really intense emotional reaction. And that can affect then moving forward wanting to speak up. And so you might have 100 experiences of positive experiences of speaking English, yet you had this one negative experience that is overpowering the rest. And that's a very normal thing. It's called negativity bias. Because of that, we're going to focus on that one negative instead of the 100 positive. Okay, so what we need to do is, again, override that human brain of ours and focus on those 100 positive experiences, or even just what you want to accomplish in your life and in your career. Really get focused on, if I speak up, if I overcome this fear of mistakes, then I'll be able to accomplish this in my life, this dream, this vision of what you want your future to look like. So me personally, I was incredibly scared of getting in front of the camera for the first time when I started making my YouTube videos 14 years ago. It was incredibly intense, and I had to do a lot of this mindset training for myself. I had to really get clear about what I was trying to accomplish and why, what I was doing. And I really had to forget about myself and say, this isn't about me, this is about who I'm speaking to. And I want to help, I want to do good. And I know that I have something powerful that can really help others. Changing that mindset allowed me to then step into that situation. Sure, I had a lot of nerves still pulsing through, and I had to use some tools to kind of calm those nerves, but I was able to do it. And then I did it over and over and over again, to the point where even now, I get those nerves getting in front of the camera, but I'm a much more calm and confident in being able to do so. So we have to really retrain the brain. Mistakes are the path to fluent American English. Version 1 is better than version none. Mistakes are proof I'm trying. So these are some of those phrases that I use to reframe. So what do you do after you've spoken up and maybe you've made a mistake or someone gives you negative feedback? What do you do in that situation to help calm yourself? Well, here's what I recommend. First, feel your feelings. Feel sad, feel embarrassed. It's okay, it's very natural. And when you just let yourself feel that instead of resisting, you're going to be able to let that emotion just wash through you, okay? Feel your feelings. Next is reflect and reframe the experience. Be honest about what happened and why. So yeah, maybe you did make a mistake and now you need to learn from that. But being able to reframe that is oh, okay, I didn't know that before and now I do. Or I didn't recognize that before, but now I understand that more, and next time I'm gonna do it better, okay? Being able to honestly see the mistake and correct it, but then just calm and saying, it's okay. It's totally fine that I made that mistake, and that negative feedback that I got from someone else, that's okay too. They get to have their opinions and things, and I'm gonna take what's true about that and I'm going to apply it. Next, really look at what can I learn from this experience. Give the experience purpose. Use it to grow. And as you give that experience purpose, that negative experience, really give it purpose and say, okay, because of this negative experience, I can grow and improve and become better because of it. Or I can contribute more, or I can connect better with these other people because I've been through this hard situation. Okay, use it to grow. And give that negative energy that you have about this some positive energy to push it forward. The final tip I have for you is just take action. The more you do things, the more confidence you build. The more you speak up, the more you just overcome those fears and just step into that fear a little bit, the more freedom you're going to create, because as you take action, you're gonna figure it out more. As I made more and more videos, the confidence kept building and building, and I know it can do the same for you. If you want to learn more about how to speak American English like a native English speaker, go ahead and click on the next video.